very
by a landslide.
by a landslide. This is a dangerous one for Jake.
He needs to do it.
This is a dangerous fight for Jake. The kid has got balls the size of Manhattan.
Davis! 135 pounds.
People are that I'm sparring and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test.
Logan Paul has publicly expressed his worries about his brother Jake facing a reformed Gervonta Davis in the ring, describing the contest as risky and possibly Jake's most difficult test to date. Logan notes that Davis is much tougher than fans anticipate because of his significant growth and development. He compares it to his own experience fighting Floyd Mayweather Jr., pointing out that Davis now exhibits a combination of quickness, razor-sharp accuracy, and ring savvy that is reminiscent of Mayweather's best. Logan stresses that the instant they hit the canvas, what seemed to be a mismatch in Jake's advantage might change. He is therefore truly concerned about his brother's safety and future professional path.
Davis has been confirmed. Guys, this fight is actually happening. Jake is a plus 155 underdog going into the fight and taking the biggest risk he's ever taken. It's going to be on Netflix. Now, this fight I will watch.
This one's crazy.
Please give me the weight. Please give me the fucking weight.
It's an exhibition. There's no weight.
There'll be no guideline.
There'll be agreed weight.
A range?
Yeah, there'll be agreed weight in there. It has to be.
For Jake to come down.
Correct.
What will
It'll probably be 195, maybe 200.
Still.
Bro,
Still.
how is that possible?
I mean, bro, I did it with Floyd. You guys don't understand. Exhibitions are a real thing now. As long as people are watching, that's true.
Yes.
You know how tall? You know how tall Gervonta is?
I think he's like 5'5".
Not even.
He's probably 5'4".
Bro, okay, but look, you want to know what's going to happen in that fight? Because I'll tell you too.
Tell us.
Because I did the same thing. I fought a really crafty, much smart fighter. His name was Floyd Mayweather.
He's a young Floyd, protege of Floyd.
In the prime, in his prime.
Yes.
Well, close, right?
No, Gervonta's, I think he's still in his prime.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would, bro.
This is a different fight than you and Floyd.
This is very
by
different.
a landslide.
By a landslide. This is a dangerous one for Jake.
He needs to do it.
This is a dangerous fight for Jake. The kid has got...
The weight factors for the Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul outmatch are causing some observers to raise eyebrows. Although Davis usually weighs 135 pounds and weighs significantly less, some analysts believe he might weigh closer to 160 pounds for this battle. The fight would be much riskier for Paul because of this anticipated weight rise, which would be about 25 pounds heavier than his typical fighting class and possibly increase his power-to-height ratio.
Concerned about with Gervonta Davis, as we know, big exhibition coming up November 14th. We are going to do a live stream watch party for that. I don't know in what way, but we got to make it special. You guys know I do these watch parties. They are insane. We want to have some guests. We may do a 24-hour. I'm not sure. Leave in the comments what you want to see. But we may be seeing the formulation of a game plan and tactics from this training footage from Gervonta Davis. And I think I may understand the key of what they want to do, how they want to go about it, and why Jake Paul might be in more trouble than I originally thought. What do I mean? Breakdown. Let's go.
He is the star of Wade Concept.
All right, so Calvin Ford, coach for Gervonta Davis, has been for pretty much since Gervonta started boxing. Sat down with Marcos over at Fight Hub. Shout out to Marcos for the footage, man. He's always killing the game with interviews and everything else. He sat down with Marcos, and they talked about Tank and potentially what he will do after the Jake fight, why he's the Jake fight, and what their biggest concerns are, which your biggest concerns end up being what you turn into your biggest weapons. The things you're most concerned about, you look to exploit because that's usually the other person's greatest strength, and behind it's their greatest weakness. So I'm going to take a look at this interview and show you guys why I think Jake might actually be in a little more trouble than I originally thought with this fight, and why I'm going to be more excited to see what Tank brings if the mindset is where I think.
Show the adult clarified that Tank is not the lightweight figure people imagine. In actuality, he has a powerful frame that is strong and small. This explains why, despite being shorter than most opponents, he is able to produce such explosive force. Show Eyes further noted that Davis has a physical edge over opponents who appear larger on paper because of his innate strength. He can deliver devastatingly accurate knockout blows because of his conditioning, balance, and distance management. Calling him little is deceptive because of this. Tank has the physique and strength of a much larger athlete, even though he competes in smaller levels.
That type of weight. He's a bowling ball. He ain't a little guy like you guys say, the takey wakey guy. But I got more receipts Do you guys remember what, 2 years ago against Mario Barrios to make one? He was coming down in weight.
144.1.
Weighing in at 44 plus. Ah! I even got more receipts for you guys. Remember against Ryan Garcia, right? You saw him stacking on snacky cakes and all kind of Skittles and shit, you know, for the all access with him versus Ryan Garcia. I think this was like episode 2 or something. It was hilarious. But he goes in the store and they have to weigh him. And in that store, he weighs 150 pounds.
Good, thank you.
How much I weigh?
154.
154?
Yes, sir.
All right, weigh me one more time.
All right, 150.
150? What is on? All right, bet.
And then the most famous audio leak that the War Room made famous, that we sent out and it went viral, when Team Tank said that Gervonta Tank Davis walks around at 160 pounds.
You ain't gonna never want to fight at 135 again. That's okay.
Dave Allen, a British boxer, provided a more impartial analysis of the bout. He acknowledges that he never enjoyed Jake Paul's bouts with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. or Mike Tyson because they seemed like marketing gimmicks. But he thinks the clash between Gervonta Davis might be different. Allen claims that since it is a display that amuses the fans, it is acceptable as long as no one is gravely harmed. Even though Jake isn't a professional boxer, he admits that his bouts sparked discussions that advance the sport. People are interested in seeing how far Jake can go and how Tank manages a much bigger person.
Thing with Jake Paul, I think he's a good area title level fighter, and that's a good level. Like, you can be proud of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good. But the Mike Tyson fight I didn't like. The Chavez fight was just far because he's 10-11 years past his best, up 6 weight divisions. But less of a problem because Chavez wasn't in his 50s. Fighting the MMA guys, again, he's fighting people that don't do the same, that they're not doing the same sport. But while they're a bit older, they're still not in the 50s. So all that stuff, I won't really watch any of it. I think I've watched one fight against Tommy Fury, the only professional boxer in and around his prime years, and he got beat. But I think he's title level. I think he works really hard. I think he trains hard. And I don't think he's a bad fighter at all. I don't think he's I don't think he's a good fighter. Well, he's not a bad fighter. For his experience, he's not bad at all. But Gervonta Davis is a lightweight. So, by all means, if they make a few quid and nobody gets hurt, then great. But I certainly wouldn't be paying a penny to watch it. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, farcical. Who wants to watch an exhibition? Gervonta Davis is in his prime years. Why is he wasting his time? Why is he having a rematch with the fella he got a draw with? Why is he not fighting? Why is he not going up a weight and fighting Lopez and Garcias and them fighters? Why is he?
Now that Gervonta Davis's high-profile matchup with Jake Paul is imminent, Clarissa Shields has voiced serious worries regarding his future plans. She criticizes his decision to make a passing reference to retirement, contending that if he really thinks of himself as a member of the top sports community, he ought to be competing against well-known opponents like Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. By avoiding these battles, Davis runs the risk of giving the impression that he is choosing profitable crossover matches above actual competition, according to Shields and other boxing commentators. However, some analysts note that Davis has been coping with a heavy emotional and mental load in recent years. Tensions that could have a bigger impact on his choices than the general public is aware of. Robert Garcia provides a thoughtful veteran's viewpoint on the Davis vs. Jake Paul fight, arguing that although there isn't any clear issue with Davis winning the fight, the timing is questionable. Garcia claims that fighters who have achieved legendary status usually sought out matches that would define their careers once their reputation was well established. In Davis's case, Garcia contends that the major, important battles that define greatness, fights against top champions like Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson, remain exceptional. From his point of view, the Paul fight is more like a showy side trip than a stride toward boxing fame. Davis runs the danger of weakening his reputation among purists by prioritizing show over substance. Garcia worries that instead of creating a chapter, this would appear to be skipping one. Charleston White, meanwhile, sees Jake Paul's career as merely boxing for amusement. He contends that Jake has never engaged in a fight that truly felt like a professional match. They are meticulously planned exhibitions designed to increase traffic and revenue. He claims that Jake hasn't yet faced a legitimate elite boxer who would put his stamina and skill to the test. Many boxing purists feel that Jake is abusing the system and exploiting boxing as a marketing tool instead of a profession, and Charleston's comments capture their annoyance. Charleston thinks the difference will be brutally apparent if Jake ever encounters someone like Gervonta Davis. Jake's lack of depth would be shown by Davis's training, reflexes, and experience competing against world champions. According to White, Jake's fame cannot conceal the fact that exhibitions don't create legends. Actual fights do. But not everybody thinks Tank can defeat Jake Paul. Fans are advised by some analysts to maintain realism and keep in mind that weight classifications are in place for a purpose. They contend that at lightweight and super featherweight, Tank's power and explosiveness are unparalleled. But everything changes when you're up against someone like Jake, who is inherently heavier. Physics is important in the sport of boxing. When facing someone who weighs more than 190 pounds, a fighter weighing 135 pounds will have significant disadvantages in strength, durability, and reach. These analysts point out that someone as big as Jake might not be affected by Tank's punches in the same way. Tank may make clean shots, but Jake's larger frame may absorb them in a different way. Many fans find Jake Paul's boxing activity fascinating despite all the skepticism. The battle has generated excitement and criticism because it makes the sport more interesting. Others see it as a means to infuse boxing with new vitality, while purists reject it as a money grab. Whether a person loves Jake Paul or hates him, he has a special power to make them react. Attention is drawn whenever his name is linked to a conflict. In addition to watching him triumph, viewers also watch to see if he would ultimately lose. The unpredictable nature of boxing brings it back to life. Even die-hard boxing fans acknowledge that Jake's arrival brings drama that has been missing for years. Even though Jake's skills are still improving, he adds to the rivalries and large personalities that are essential to the sport's success. The general consensus was, "Oh, this is bad for boxing." However, Gervonta Davis's tale is not just one of athletic achievement, but also one of unadulterated survival. Growing up in West Baltimore with foster care, maltreatment, and his parents absent, Davis found boxing early on as a means of escape. He still remembers the battles on the block, the nights he spent sleeping outside the gym, and the constant fear of violence. He is still motivated by the fear of returning to the life he fled, even after he has achieved financial security and big honors. His actions both inside and beyond the ring are driven by that philosophy. Every punch is a proclamation for Davis. He refuses to go back to his past because it does not define him. In addition to pitting spectacle versus validity, Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul's confrontation highlights a turning point in Davis's career. The bigger question looms as his legendary status remains unfulfilled, and veterans like Robert Garcia warn that the timing of this event sends the wrong message. Will this bout improve Davis's reputation among boxing purists or subtly harm it? The risk isn't simply in the ring. It's in how his legacy is shaped by the result.